This was supposed to be a routine dive. On September 22, 2020, Rick Patterson, a 45-year-old dive shop owner with over 20 years of experience, took a small group out to Jenny Springs, one of Florida's most popular spots for underwater cave diving. The place is known for its crystal clear water, stunning limestone tunnels, and generally calm, peaceful vibe. But that day, something was off. The water wasn't its usual picture-perfect blue. Tannins from recent rainfall had clouded it up, cutting visibility from about 164 feet down to 49 feet. Not great, but not a deal breaker. Rick noticed, made a mental note, and they geared up anyway. In the group were Michelle Santos, a 29-year-old cave diving instructor, Alex Thompson, a recreational diver from Michigan, and Lisa Chang, a 24-year-old marine biology student collecting samples for her thesis. They dropped down, heading toward one of the main cave entrances, about 26 feet below the surface, when Michelle spotted something strange in the sand. Deep gouges, around 6 inches long. Rick took one look and knew exactly what they were. Fresh alligator tracks. Still, the dive continued. As they moved closer to the cave, the water got colder. Visibility dropped even more. And then Michelle's dive light lit up a pair of glowing eyes, reflecting back from inside the cave. A massive male alligator, easily over 11 feet long, was just sitting there, dead center in the entrance, head the size of a small outboard motor, tail vanishing into the blackness. It didn't move. It didn't have to. That cave, that was his. And it was mating season, which meant any male gator in the area was on edge and ready to defend its turf. Alex, who didn't have much experience with alligator behavior, drifted a little too close. That one move set it off. The gator exploded forward, a blur of muscle and teeth. Rick shoved Alex out of the way just in time. The gator's jaws snapped shut exactly where his torso had been seconds earlier. Total chaos. Alex lost his mask and regulator. Michelle rushed in, shoved her backup mouthpiece into his mouth while he was still disoriented. But then, it got worse. 2 more sets of eyes appeared in the murk. Now there were 3 massive male alligators in the basin, all surrounding the divers. The biggest one started tail-slapping hard, churning up the bottom and kicking silt everywhere. Visibility went to 0 in seconds. Then, Michelle felt a violent tug, sharp and sudden. The dominant gator had bitten down on her fin, punching holes straight through it with those conical teeth. She kicked like hell with her other leg, while Rick bashed the gator in the snout with his dive light. It finally let go and sank back into the shadows. The group didn't wait around. They shot up toward the surface, and even then, at just 10 feet from the top, the big gator was still following them. When they surfaced, Alex was bleeding from minor cuts. Michelle's fin had clean bite holes. They scrambled to the dock, adrenaline through the roof. Wildlife officials came out afterward and confirmed what Rick had suspected. 3 large males had claimed that spring system as breeding territory. The site was closed off for 6 weeks to let the animals move on. So, picture this. You're in the middle of a trip through Uganda, hiking through this dense forest called Maramagambo. It's hot, it's humid, and somewhere along the way, your guide says, "Hey, want to check out something called Python Cave? Sounds like a fun little adventure, right?" You step inside, and that's where things go completely sideways. Python Cave isn't just a cool name. It's home to actual pythons, huge ones, like up to 18 feet long, and venomous forest cobras. But even that isn't the main danger. The real killer, the air. This cave is packed with tens of thousands of Egyptian fruit bats. And yeah, they look kind of harmless, just flapping around, hanging from the ceiling. But these bats carry something called Marburg virus, a nasty Ebola-like hemorrhagic fever that pretty much melts your insides. Now, in 2007, an American tourist went into this same cave, ended up catching the virus, and barely survived. No one knew exactly what had happened at first. But then, the next year, in June 2008, a Dutch woman visited the cave too. She seemed fine at first. No scratches, no bites, no visible signs of anything wrong. She flew back home to the Netherlands. And then, just a few days later, she got a fever. Then chills. Then, everything just went downhill. Fast. Within a week, she was dead. And here's the messed up part. She didn't even touch anything dangerous. No animal attack, no obvious exposure. She just walked in, spent a few minutes in there with all those bats overhead, and breathed. That's it. Just breathing the air in that cave was enough to catch something that deadly. Scientists later confirmed it. The strain of Marburg virus that killed her was the exact same one found in the bats from that cave. The place was basically a viral landmine. And remember, we're not even talking about some remote off-limits area here. This was a tourist stop. People used to go in there all the time, taking photos, watching snakes eat bats. Yeah, that actually happens. These massive rock pythons just hang out in the crevices and snatch bats right out of the air. Forest cobras slither around too, just to make things extra spicy. After that second case, Ugandan authorities shut the cave down completely. CDC teams came in wearing full protective suits, like Tyvek suits, gloves, Kevlar chaps, the whole deal. They didn't mess around. Turns out the bats were also flying up to around 35 miles each night, which meant they could be spreading stuff far beyond just that one cave. Since then, Python Cave has become kind of legendary in the disease world. It's the go-to case study for what they call zoonotic spillover. Basically, when something deadly jumps from animals to humans. And it's not even through a bite. Just being there, breathing the wrong air can be enough. So, yeah. The next time someone invites you into a cave full of bats, snakes, and God knows what, maybe just admire it from the outside.